What's going on, Isha? What's going on? Sen, what's happening? What's happening? Right, guys, it is now 5 o'clock, and welcome to Platform London Live, coming direct to you on Instagram. Today, we've got an interview with Aces, who is an artist, and he has his own social media marketing company, which I only just found out about, to be honest. So it's going to be good to pick his brains and see what he's up to. And while we wait for Aces, blessing you with a little bit of Thai music. Yes, Lou, what's happening? Blessing you with a bit of Thai, who sadly passed on the 7th due to COVID-19, which is a shame. Dope guy, dope artist. Yeah, but through this interview, what we're trying to find out, or here are some of the things we're going to find out. We're going to find out like where he started, what he's been up to since the last Soho Music Month, all sorts. It's going to be a great interview. Man, like Aces is in the building. Let's get him through.
Yes, King. Yo, we're
Yo,
finally here,
my
man.
boy, what's happening?
I'm good, man. How are you? Yo, can you hear me?
Word. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. What about you?
Yeah,
Can you hear
man, we're
me?
out here, doing the...
Okay. The live was a little
Yeah,
bit
we're out
delayed
here,
at
man.
first,
We're
man, but
doing it.
all right, man. Wicked, man. Wicked. Let's go then. Let's go.
No worries. Right, Aces, do you want to
Yo.
tell us a bit about yourself, bro?
Yeah, so obviously, like, I'm an artist, rapping hip hop artist, that is, and I own my own social media marketing agency as well. So, yeah, an artist and entrepreneur. Like, that's how I wrap myself up in one piece.
Oh, cold. So your name is Aces, right? So what
Yeah.
inspired it? What inspired that
What
name?
inspired the name Ace is it came all the way from school. People used to call me ASAP because anything that they wanted, I can get it ASAP. So, but then obviously people just like, look, we ain't trying to call you ASAP because there's ASAP Rocky and the whole ASAP mob. So we need your own name. So then they just started calling me like Aces, A Sizzle, and they just said Aces. Like, yeah, they just started calling me Aces. So I had it since like year 10, year 11, and I'm
All right,
23 now. So I had it since I was at 15.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
Since you
that's
was
how
like
the name. But
15.
I used to be called Little Aces before. Oh, you spelled Aces wrong, by the way, bro. Yeah, like they
Oh,
used to call me
let me know how I'm spelling it.
yeah, ACESIZ and then official. But yeah, like they used to call me Little Aces before. Then I just changed it to Aces as I got older.
All right, that's it, man. I didn't know that. What was your life kind of like growing up then, from when you started?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm talking about secondary school life. How did you get into like hip hop, all of that kind of
Obviously,
stuff?
like I've always been like a big like rap and hip hop fan. Since knee high, like in my household, like my pops always used to play, rap and hip hop music, etc., etc. Then obviously, like on my like my mom, she would play all the soul music, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? She'll play like all of like the reggae music and that. Do you know what I mean? Then I used to go to like my grandparents' houses, all the reggae music there, etc., etc. So I've always had a big influence of music. Do you know what I mean? Like growing up as a youngin. So yeah, like I just said, you know what? Like why not start rapping myself? I used to write little raps here and there. Started rapping in school.
Yeah,
We made a
that.
song in the school studio, passed it around. People liked it, and then people were like, listen, you should actually take it serious because you're good at what you do. Like you're actually talented. So yeah, I started taking it serious like 2017 probably.
Oh, sweet. Right.
So it's been a
So,
while.
if you had 3 words to describe yourself, what would they be?
3 words to describe myself:
Yeah.
ambitious, positive, and yeah, ambitious, positive, and like affluent. I would say. I reckon I'm like pretty affluent.
I hear that. Sit. Um, So we do know that you went to the States for a little bit, for a little while. Could you tell us your
Yeah.
experience over there? What was that like, and how come you went?
Yeah, it was lit. So obviously, like the first time I went to the States was 2017, and then I done an EP called UK to the States. It's like a 6-song EP that we recorded in my boy's living room. Do you know what I mean? So we actually recorded a 6-song EP in his living room, and then we sent it over to an engineer out here that kind of touched it, touched it up, etc., etc. Actually, no, he didn't. He actually engineered it out there, and then we dropped it. I think it was like a year later or something, but we dropped it in the end. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, I went out to Brooklyn in New York, Flatbush, and then that's where we recorded it. And then I went out there again in 20 recently, like 2019. I went out to Brooklyn again. I went to like Harlem. I went to Philly. Do you know what I mean? So, and then that's obviously, what I plan to do again this year. If it wasn't for the quarantine, I would have been out there in April. So as
Uh,
soon as this lockdown is over, I'm back out there.
hey, sick, sick. So like, while you was in the States, what did you learn? Like, what
What
was
did
the
I learn?
environment?
Um, I pretty much went out there to network, just to network, etc., etc. But one thing I did learn is that the New York hustle is different, bro. In comparison to like the London hustle, like we would think that the London hustle is busy and fast paced. But New Yorkers, bro, they don't sleep. Like they do not sleep. You always see them up on their computer at night. They got like 2, 3 jobs. It's crazy, bro. But like their level of work rate inspired me. It's just different. And a lot of them are like that. Like they're super, super focused in, their craft and building their craft, etc., etc. Like they just don't sleep out there. So that's one thing that inspired me, like just that level of work rate. So I think that that's like the biggest lesson that I gained.
Sick, sick, sick. So through this experience, what advice could you offer people?
Through this experience, what advice could I offer people? I would offer people just to travel. I think it's really important that people travel and people, get out of their local area and like notice that the world is a lot bigger than, what they're surrounded by. Do you know what I mean? It's very easy to get caught up in just to get caught up in the mix and only see what we see. But the world is a lot bigger than, our surroundings. So I think it's important that people branch out. And if you're scared of traveling, start by traveling to the UK, like different parts of the UK if you're from London or from wherever. Or even if you're from Birmingham, like, travel to London. And if you're from London, travel up north. Do you know what I mean? Go to Manchester, go to this place, go to that place. Like start getting used to travel and then start traveling abroad because it just opens your mind, it opens your eyes to a different way of life, and then you realize that life is a lot bigger than the hood, as people say.
No, I hear that. I've heard that from everybody who has like traveled. That's exactly what they say. That's
It's a lot
exactly
bigger,
what they say.
and then you get inspired, and you also pick up different traits and different habits from different cultures. So you can see like how different cultures live, etc., etc., and then you can actually bring some of that knowledge into your lifestyle as well, and you can like transfer it.
Sweet. So, do you have any funny stories or like any stories in general, like while you was over there actually?
Any funny stories? Uh, Damn, like I had quite a lot of fun, but I don't know too much about like funny stories from the top of my mind.
Don't
But
have to be.
I mean, huh?
It doesn't have to be funny. Just a story in general, if you have
Just the
one.
story in general. Damn, I've done a lot. I don't know. Like I like Philly. I like Philly because whenever I go to places, I don't want to see the tourist parts. I want to see the real, the real New York. I want to see the real Philly. So, like my people out in Philly, like they took care of me and shit, and I was just around the hoods of Philly. So I really, really saw what it's like out there, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? I had Philly cheesesteak as well. It's good if people don't know what it is. When they go to Philly, they got to try the Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, like I like seeing the bikes as well. Like they do a lot of wheelies out there with the bikes. Do you know what I mean? Like they got a dirt bikes and they love wheeling on dirt bikes and quad bikes and shit. So that was pretty cool to watch as well. And yeah, it's just a different way of life, really. And even with New York, like it was fun creating my EP. I went out there to do more music as well in 2019. So it was fun and it was really, really interesting just to see like the entrepreneurial side that a lot of these people have out there. Like they're very, very entrepreneurial. And that's one thing that motivated me as well. Like people might come from certain backgrounds, but they actually changed their way of living and they made it legitimate. you know what I mean? And they invested into legitimate things, and now they're legitimate. They own real estate, you know what I mean? And they own this and they own that. And this is people that really came from like unfortunate backgrounds at the bottom of the bottom. You know what I mean? A lot of worse places than a lot of people say they come from in the UK, but they still made the most out of it. Do you know what I mean? And they still turn their things into legitimate businesses. So that's one thing that I enjoyed. You know, just the entrepreneurship over there is crazy.
Sweet. So for a while, I did notice that you was quite silent on Instagram. Was there a reason to this?
Yeah, so I came with the gram for a bit. The reason why I came with the gram is I believe it's very important to have a social media detox every now and again, you know? There's actually this good book for like anyone that wants to know. It's called The Shallows, right? And it's available on YouTube. It's actually an audio book that's free on YouTube as well. So go check out The Shallows. But that talks about like the psychology behind how damaging social media is to the mind, right? And after noticing that these tech giants here, like they spend millions on like psychologists to come up with techniques to get people hooked to social media, right? So, you know, social media, like whenever you get likes, comments, etc., like it builds up something called dopamine, right? That's like a hormone within all of us, right? So it's actually like to the certain level of crack and heroin is when it comes to addiction, isn't it? That's why a lot of people are addicted to social media. True story, do you know what I mean? So just noticing all of that and just noticing the effects that it has on myself and other people. I'm just like,
Wow.
look, like I need to kind of like clear the mind, go on a little detox, you know, like spend some time away from social media just to focus on real life and just to slow down for a bit and to see everything else that's going on around me. Do you know what I mean? Because it's very easy to get sucked into this whole social media thing, but this social media thing isn't real life. And after me doing it, I actually got a lot more accomplished to what I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Like initially. And if I didn't take that break, I wouldn't have learned certain things and I wouldn't have accomplished certain things, etc., etc. So I definitely think it's important that people take social media detox. It doesn't have to be for that long. My social media detox was like for a month or so. Do you know what I mean? Or just over a month. But it's important that people do take social media detoxes. You know what I mean? Because the social media stuff is damaging psychologically, and you might not even notice it, but like it's damaging to everybody, man. Trust me, even subconsciously.
No, for real. I did notice that as well when I started to take like weekends off of social media, and like that period of time, I was like I was more centered in myself than I was like at the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, yeah, I 100% agree with that. No doubt, no doubt. So, did you did you feel like a disconnect when you done this? Like when you came off
Um,
social media, you feel a disconnect.
Kind of, you know, because obviously, like, you know, like social media, like the reason that we're sucked in is we wanna, you know, like we wanna see what everyone else is doing, you know, like we wanna feel like we're a part of something, like we don't wanna miss out on things, you know what I mean? But when I was off of social media, obviously, you know, you have like the temptation just to check on certain things or your favorite accounts, for example, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I just, you know, said, nah, listen, like this is for like the greater good. So I didn't touch social media at all. Do you know what I mean? I just took time out to focus on my company and growing that. Do you know what I mean? And figuring out new techniques to grow that. And then I was doing that. So I had an office at the time as well. Do you know what I mean? So I was locked in 7 days a week, Monday to Sunday. I used to wake up at 5 a.m., shower, get ready, leave out, head straight to the office to get there for 7, not leave the office sometimes till like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning and repeat. I got like hardly any sleep, but that's really what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, on average, I might leave at like 12 or 1 o'clock. I used to make sure I left at a reasonable time just so I can get some sleep. Head back. I used to walk in at like 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, and I'll just sleep, wake up again, and repeat. 7 days a week for, you know, like a whole month and a half. But it was good. It was beneficial, and it allowed me to, like, you know, to land a few clients and to work on a few things. So it's needed, you know. It's definitely needed to take the time out and to focus on what really needs to be done. And I'm the
That's
type of guy that likes reading as well, you know, and it's difficult to read when you're still on social media, and you know what I mean? And there's so much going on your phone, so much notifications going on. It's easy to distract you. Do you know what I mean? So a good book I'm reading at the moment is called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by 50 Cent. And I got a Kindle right here as well. So I read physical books, like I like hard copies, and I also read books on my Kindle as well, you know what I mean? And I listen to audiobooks as well on YouTube and all that. So I'm always educating my mind.
Yeah, we'll touch on the books in a bit. I got that covered. I
For
got that
sure,
covered.
for sure, for sure.
But you did mention like how you was focused on your company. So obviously, like staying away from social media was one way you kept focused. How else did you like keep your mind locked in?
Um, well, I mean, it all comes down to what you want in life, right? And a lot of people say that people are not lazy; they just haven't got goals that inspire them enough. And I believe in that, you know. Like if you've got goals that inspire you enough, then how can you possibly be lazy, you know? The reason why people are lazy is because they ain't got those goals that inspire them. That's why it's important to take the time out to figure out what it is that you actually want, and then you know like what steps you need to take to get there. Because a lot of people believe in like the law of attraction, manifestation. That's what I believe in too. But a lot of people they try and manifest the end result, but you got to manifest twice as hard what it takes to get there. You know the steps of what it takes to get there. So say for example, if you was selling cars, for example, and you wanted to make 100,000 selling cars, and like it will take you 40 cars to make that money, for example, right? You don't think about the end result of you having that 100 grand. You think about waking up every day, hitting those calls, doing what you need to do on a computer to find those customers to then make the sell to those customers so they can give you that money rather than just thinking about 100k, 100k, 100k. You need to think about the steps to get there, and you need to try and use that within your manifestation because that will give you the end result rather than just manifesting the end result because then you're not gonna like know what's needed to get there. So, it allowed me to create a vision board because vision boards are very important as well. And if people don't know what a vision board is, it's all to do with your goals. So my vision board has like different aspects to it, right? So it has like a lifestyle aspect to it. It has like a health aspect to it. It has like personal things that I want, such as like material things like cars, watches, etc., etc., right? Then it has like a knowledge aspect as well. So that's the amount of books that I want to read, etc., etc. Then it has a relationship aspect. So that's like the type of woman I want to attract in my life as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's why and like my love life. That's why it's so important to have a vision board so you can really understand what it is that you want, and then you can work on that manifestation and you can work on that law of attraction. So me taking that time out, it allowed me to connect to that side of myself spiritually and just to really take out me time. Do you know what I mean? And that's what people need, me time. They need to slow down for a bit, figure out what they want, and then yeah. But go on.
That's incredible, fam. That's
Love,
mad.
man.
That's mad. I know Oprah did mention as well, talking about how she had vision boards. How do you feel that helps? I know you did give a big explanation, but just like zeroing in on the vision board. What does that do for you every time you look at it?
Well, vision boards are like extremely important because, as I said, like it maps out what you really want. Now, a lot of people like they think they know what they want, but they actually don't. So if you actually lay it out in front of you, especially having different categories, then you can see like every aspect of your life um, in terms of the things that you want, rather than just thinking about the material things. As I said, you can think about health as well, because health is just as important. And a lot of people, like they chase the money, but then as soon as they get the money, as soon as they get the wealth, they actually end up chasing health. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why you need to work like simultaneously with it. You can, chase the wealth and, chase the wealth at the health, sorry, at the same time. So health and wealth at the same time, rather than just chasing one thing and forgetting the other thing. Do you know what I mean? And that's why vision boards are so important because it just really maps out what it is that you want in different aspects and different areas of your life. Do you know what I mean? And you can use that vision board to wake up, to look at every day, and to just visualize and to just know what like what it is that you really want, and that will keep you driven.
Word. So that being said, could you explain your creative process?
My creative process, in terms of what?
In terms of music. In terms of music.
All right, so like whenever it comes to me like creating a song, a lot of the time I just listen to the beat, and then the beat will talk to me. So I could be on YouTube, I can type in like a tight beat or an instrumental. As soon as I hear it, it's like the beat talks to me. Do you know what I mean? And then I just have like ideas that come to my mind, etc., etc. And then I lay down a chorus first, and then as soon as I got like a banging chorus, the verse comes. Do you know what I mean? And it takes me about 20 minutes to write that. Probably a little bit longer now because I haven't really been too hands-on with writing. It'll probably take me about half an hour to write it. Then as soon as the song's done, I just hit my engineer up, ask him whenever studio time's available, head to the studio, get straight in the booth, and me and him, we just work. So like our work ethic is crazy. As soon as I come, there is no talking. It's him like, yeah, look, get in the booth, let's start recording. Do you know what I mean? So that we can have that song finished within like 20 minutes or so. Then he cleans it up, he does the necessary mixes and stuff that needs to be done. Then he sends it to me, and then boom, you know, like we've got a song. So that's like my song creation process. Whenever it comes to music videos, I don't plan my music videos because I feel like it's more like organic and authentic. When I don't, do you know what I mean? I just kind of have an idea. Like one day I might wake up, like today I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, do you know what? I want to shoot a video. So like most of my videos, like most of my music videos, like well, all of my music videos, they haven't been planned. It's just I woke up and I wanted to shoot a video, and I just hit the videographer like, yo, let's shoot a video. They're like, think of a location. I'll think of a random location and be like, yeah, look, let's pull up there. And then, yeah, we just get the video. And all of my videos have turned out banging. So none of them are planned. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't really like planning things like too tough whenever it comes to like conversations like this, Niba. So whenever it comes to like podcasts and stuff, I like things to run organically. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really the type of person that wants to plan too hard on what we talk about. But not everyone is a conversationalist like me. Do you know what I mean? So some people might actually need to plan. But I'm a conversationalist, so it's easy for me just to have conversation and to talk about different things, innit? So whenever it comes to music videos, it's like a similar mentality. But I feel like the whole directing side of music videos, I don't really enjoy that too much because I'm not a director. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, look, let's go here and you guys tell me whatever it is that you want me to do. Or I might think of a creative idea when I'm there, like, oh, you know, like the forklift I had in the Counting Stands video. I'm like, look, let's use a forklift because people ain't using forklifts in their video. You see people using cars, but you don't see no one on a forklift, innit? So I want to be different. I'm like, yo, let's use a forklift. And it banged. So
That is
it's about
whole
thinking
forklift,
outside the box and being different. Huh?
a whole forklift, you know.
The whole forklift,
Yeah,
bro.
that's insane, fam.
That's what it's about. It's about thinking. It's about thinking outside the box and being different. And even the attire in the video. Shout out to the Arc Minute, but I pulled up on this one clothing brand called the Arc Minute. They've had their stuff featured in like JD and stuff, and I'm just like, listen, like I'm shooting a video. You know, I want to promote your brand as much as, you know, like just having something wavy to wear in a video. So let's do some sort of partnership. So then they set up like they just gave me some free clothes and shit that I got on in the video, and then I also put like their link in my bio to the video as well. So if people are interested in the clothes worn in the video, they can click on that link and make a purchase. So it's just about thinking smart. Do you know what I mean? And there's like other ways as an independent artist that you can do little deals like that. Do you know what I mean? Like I was talking to like an ice lolly company as well that I met on one high road once, and I'm just like, listen, I think it'll be important that me and you like touch base again to think about how you can incorporate your stuff within my music video, and then I'll get a cut from that, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm helping them promote it. Do you know what I mean? So you got to think next level, and that's something that I learned in this book called The Empire State of Mind about Jay-Z and how Jay-Z used to do deals with Jeep. So back in the day, you know, like people never really used to look at Jeep as like a cool brand like that, but it's because Jay-Z used to do deals with Jeep that, do you know what I'm saying, Jeep became a lot more popping. It's the same thing with you know, his brand, like the what do you call it? What was it, Ace of Spades or something like that? Like even with that, you know, like he got that, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like he got his champagne line popping. Even Diddy, for example, like Ciroc is not Diddy's brand, you know, like Ciroc is Ciroc's brand, but Ciroc was actually going downhill and it was about to become bankrupt. And then, you know, Diddy had an idea and they had an idea to use Diddy to help them, you know, market their stuff. And look at Ciroc now, crazy big. Do you know what I mean? So as an artist, you got to think, you know, ahead, and you got to look at what the greats done because they will leave a blueprint, and you got to incorporate some of that into your life and into your business and into your music.
That's incredible. So, from what I'm seeing, your process is very well laid out and well thought out.
For sure.
So, how did this help your social media marketing business to start?
Yeah, like that's a very good question. So, obviously, so I'm 23 now, right? I'm 24 in December, right? So, I've been about this me trying to build my brand shit since I was like 16. So this is like years of experience, you know, like years of building. A lot of people might come on my page and they might think it's overnight, but none of this is overnight. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not overnight, you know, it's taken how many years? As I said, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 7, 8 years. Do you know what I'm saying? There's like 8 years right there of work. Do you know what I mean? And of researching things every day. Because I research like marketing strategies day in, day out. Do you know what I mean? And advertising day in, day out, and the music industry and all this type of stuff. I've always done that like religiously every day. Do you know what I mean? So it's mad knowledge that I'm getting from YouTube and from these other artists that I've kind of, you know, incorporated into my own life and I've used. And now I'm at that position where I'm like, listen, I can do it for other people. So then I started studying like the social media marketing a lot more. I bought like 3 social media marketing courses. One of them is from Ty Lopez. He's a famous entrepreneur. You probably know him. You see him on YouTube all the time. The guy that has all of the Ferraris and shit and the Lamborghinis behind him, and he's like here in my garage. That guy. Yeah, I bought his course, and a few other people's social media course. I really locked into the idea of it, found out how to like run like a more like scalable, successful business. They give you like different contracts and templates, etc., email templates. They tell you how to reach out to clients, etc. So just started using some of their practices, and yeah, started signing a few clients and stuff. And I'm just trying to grow my brand more, trying to grow my company more, you know. But also still trying to grow my music brand. So it's a little bit hard juggling your own life plus juggling a whole company plus juggling your music. It's pretty difficult, but like it's a process, you know, and I love it. You got to enjoy the process. You got to enjoy the struggle. You know, you got to enjoy the journey. So to me, it's a passion. Like all 3 of them is a passion. Like you know,
That's
like
dope.
my music career, like my business, and obviously you know life in general. To me, I enjoy it. So yeah.
So like, what sets you apart from other agencies?
What sets me apart is obviously like with me, like my agency is it's me and like a group of freelancers that I use. Do you know what I mean? So and I focus mainly on like relationships with clients rather than just signing as much clients as possible, you know. A lot of these agencies out here, like they're just interested in the money to the point where they just sign any and every client and then they can't get them the best results because they got so much other clients to deal with. Do you know what I mean? So with me, it's like I'm very specific with who I work with. I'm not going to work with you unless it's beneficial for both of us. Do you know what I mean? So that's what sets me out, and also it's my level of experience. So I've got experience within the whole social media game for 8+ years now, as I said. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of digital marketers may not necessarily have that experience. So in terms of like my experience, then yeah, my experience too. And I just think it's just my network as well. You know, like I've got like a great roster of videographers on deck, photographers, you know, people that create content, people that run ads and stuff themselves. So my network is very lucrative. Do you know what I mean? So I think my network as well is very important. But yeah.
So like through doing this whole working up your company, are there any lessons that you've learned that you could share and give advice on?
Any lessons? Yeah, man. So you're gonna make mistakes. Like as a business owner, when you have your own company, yeah? Or when you do anything that's entrepreneurial, you're gonna make mistakes, but you have to learn from your mistakes. And you can't be scared to make mistakes. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's just about believing in yourself. You know, like it's not gonna be easy starting out. It's just not. You know, like no business is easy. Like no matter what it is that you do, but if you're passionate about it and if you believe in it, then you know you just got to realize that you know this is really me and I can really drive this business to where I want. Because, as I said, you know we create our own destiny, right? And I'd also say it's very important not to jump into things that we don't know too much about. You know, like these get rich quick schemes. There's no such thing as a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So don't jump into things that you don't know about. You're going to end up losing money. You're going to end up stressing out and it's just not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So only jump into things that you're passionate about. And if you don't know what you're passionate about, then you can find it if you look around and if you take the time to figure out what you actually enjoy doing and what you're good at. And then you can turn that into a business. And it could be anything, you know. You might be good at I don't know, playing tennis or something. And then you can say, look, I want to set up like like a training academy to train other people how to play tennis. Or I want to sell tennis rackets. So I want to sell tennis balls. You know what I mean? Like there's different ways. There's different ways of how to create a business out of something that you enjoy doing. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I would say as like a business owner. And you always got to think of the bigger picture in terms of like how to scale, rather than just creating like a business for the sake of creating a business. Like you got to think about if you can actually scale it, right? So before, I'll give you an example. So before I used to sell like my music hand to hand, right? That's what I used to do. So I used to come up with so rather than selling like actual physical CDs, I used to sell like these little cards, and it used to have like a code and that redemption code and a website. So people go to that website, they'll put in that redemption code, then they get a digital download, innit? So you can download it straight to their phone, straight to their computer, boom. And I get their email address as well when they do that. So I'm collecting data as well. Do you know what I mean? Smart. A lot of people aren't doing that. I was like, me and my boy was the only people on road that sold mixtapes that was doing that. Do you know what I mean? But then I realized like it's not scalable, you know. Like if I wake up and I'm sick one day, I can't necessarily go out and sell those products. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll be sick. And if it's raining outside or snowing outside, you know, it might affect the traffic of the people that's outside, you know. Not many people will be outside. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously not scalable. So I had to think of a way of like, you know, what other business can I have, or how can I do it smarter to the point where if I'm sick, I can still work on my business, I can still get paid in bed. If it rains, I can still work on my business, I can still get paid in the crib. So that's when I thought, listen, this whole social media marketing thing goes hand in hand with that. I can be anywhere. All I need is a laptop and an internet connection. I could be in Dubai right now and I could still be earning bread. Do you know what I mean? Because all I need is a laptop and an internet connection. So that's what I realized. Do you know what I mean? And that's the whole thing that like dragged me towards this model. And you don't need any money to start a social media marketing agency neither. Like what was like 13 pounds to like incorporate my business. Like, you know what I mean? But you don't need money to start. You don't even need the 13 pounds. You can start off just you going out and finding clients. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's scalable, bro. Do you know what I mean? And the profit margins are crazy. Like you're making 100% profit from this. So that's what I was looking at, you know, like I was thinking of a business of what can I do that's profitable, 100% profitable and also scalable. That's why I came up with the name, Scalable Marketing Solutions for my business. You know what I mean? So everything goes hand in hand. It's called Scalable Marketing Solutions.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, do you know what I mean? And even like when I created that domain, like the domain website I use, I must have spoke to the customer service and the woman was like, "Oh, that's crazy. I'm surprised nobody else has thought of that name before." Because my domain, like at the time, was worth like £700, like straight away, just off of the rip of those names. It's probably worth like double or triple now. But it's crazy because then whenever you want to sell your business, you also got your website that you can sell as well, when you can sell that domain. Do you know what I mean? So you got to think about the virtual real estate as well. So virtual real estate is obviously the content that you put out, the websites that you own, etc., etc. That's virtual real estate, isn't it? But it's just as important, you know. You putting out daily videos on YouTube is obviously going to build you a certain amount of streams and stuff. That's going to build you a certain amount of income, right? But if you don't put out that content, then you can never build anything, innit? So it's all about virtual real estate and having valuable videos as well that provides people value that is going to let people follow you more as a person and follow your brand more as a person because you're actually providing them with information that's needed and that's valuable rather than just being like anyone and everyone else. Do you know what I mean? You got to think about how you're making a change, how you're being valuable and why people should follow you. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just telling people to follow you. It's like, why? Do you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, they might not even have any posts on their gram. And if they do, it just might not be valuable posts. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are people really following? So you got to think about, you know, if you want to get followers, if you want people to follow you, you got to think about the value that you're putting out there. Do you know what I'm saying? The content that you're putting out there and the way that you're presenting yourself. So yeah.
That's cool. What are the hardships like that you've had to overcome while building your company? Like you've explained you work hard, all of that.
Yeah.
Are there any specific hardships?
Probably just like the transition, you know, like it's because obviously like when you're trying to build anything successful, right, you got to change like certain attitudes and the certain way that you used to live life before. Do you know what I mean? Because you're dealing with like a different caliber of people. Do you know what I mean? So you got to like figure out like, you know, how it is that you approach them. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't talk to like a company like, yo, bro, like man's doing social media marketing. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that, innit? So you got to think of different ways of how to change up. Do you know what I mean? And how to adapt to your customers and to your client base. So I think obviously, you know, like growing up, obviously like where we grew up and being around who we're around, it's like it's very easy to still be sucked into those like to those same habits. Do you know what I mean? So I think it was just I think that's a very hard part of it as well, is, you know, you trying to like rewire how you've been raised, how you've been brought up, and, you know, just to be more of like a diverse individual, innit? That can like fit any kind of situation and circumstance. And that's what Jay-Z was even talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's just about adapting. Like you've got to adapt as a person and you've got to be able to fit certain situations and you've got to be able to like fit certain conversations with certain people. So I think that was another thing as well. And also self-image is very important as well, you know. If you're trying to go to a meeting, you know, like you can't pull up in a meeting necessarily in a tracksuit. Do you know what I mean? Like they're going to look at you different. But if you pull up to a meeting in a suit, they're going to automatically, you know, like look at you with respect. Do you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about your self-image as well. It's like if you pull up to a meeting looking hella shabby, they're going to look at you one way. But if you pull up to a meeting clean shave, clean hair, everything, you know what I mean? That they're going to look at you different. How they would have looked at, you know, would have looked at you then. So it was just like understanding all that stuff as well. Has actually been pretty difficult, you know. Not difficult, but as I said, it's just trying to like rewire your mind in it and rewire the way that you've been rooted. is obviously it's not easy. Do you know what I mean? But it's part of life. You have to change. You have to adapt. And I think
Mm.
adaptability is very important. And a lot of people they're actually scared of change and they're scared to adapt because they're so used to certain things that they do. Do you know what I mean? And certain people around them, they might not necessarily come to grips with it so easily. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like you know that you're changing for the best anyway, and you're changing for the better. And life is all about becoming the best version of yourself possible. Do you know what I mean? So I had to realize that, and I had to realize it's a lot to do with mindset and it's a lot to do with how you view things to where it's going to get you in life. Do you know what I mean? Words are powerful at the end of the day. Like if you tell yourself that you're shit at something, you're going to be shit at it. But if you tell yourself you're great at something, you're going to be great at it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a
Yeah.
whole mindset thing as well.
So like jumping back onto the music, when did you first realize, right, I want to be a rapper? This is me. Like, I know you said you was doing it from young, but what was that? What was that light bulb moment that was like, yo?
Let me put it this way. One thing I realized, yeah, there's this one phrase, right? And the phrase is everything that glitters ain't gold. Um, I love that phrase because it's true. So when you grow up, you're so like mesmerized by, by like all these music videos that you watch, etc., right? Until you actually get into the industry and you realize, these cars in these videos are rented. These cribs in these videos are rented. These girls that they use in these videos are just models that they pay bread to. There's not even their girls. You get it? So you
Mm.
notice that. So when you get into the industry, you're just like, a lot of it is cap. Like it's not really what it seems. So it's just being around that. Being around that, I've noticed. Like it's just the industry is it's sold on dreams, isn't it? And it does sell a
Mm-hmm.
lot of dreams to artists as well. If you've noticed, there's a lot of dream selling involved, and it's just being around that. That's kind of like what made me want to be independent as well and stay independent is because like I realize that some labels like they really take control over artists. You know what I mean? And a lot of artists is like they lose their creative control as soon as the label comes in. Do you know what I mean? Especially if it's a major label. And a lot of
Yeah.
artists they get dealt bad deals as well, isn't it? Like like bad 360 deals where they're just fucked basically, where they've got to listen to the label because the label needs to recoup. And a lot of the time, like signing a deal is really just getting a big advance, which is basically a loan that you got to pay back anyway. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of artists don't understand that. And a lot of artists don't even understand that. A lot of the time, you need a music lawyer before you sign anything. Get yourself a music lawyer, and don't take the music lawyer that the label gives you, because that music lawyer is going to be on their side. Get your own music lawyer. Do you know what I mean? So like, there's a lot to it, bro. There's a lot to it. So like, coming into the game, when you're younger, you think you can just pick up a mic and just rap, and you're just going to be lit. Do you know what I mean? But it's not necessarily like that. Like, there's a lot that comes into it. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I realized. That's one thing that I noticed, and it's just the whole aspect of everything that glitters ain't gold, which is what just allowed me to think about other avenues. And a lot of artists is like their career only lasts 2 to 3 years anyway. They'll be very lucky if their career lasts like 5 years, but on average, the artists' careers last like 2 3 years. And then you got to think about what are you gonna do after that. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be just one of those guys that's just like like they're on top and then they just fall off and they don't even know what the fuck it is that they're doing, and then they become bankrupt, and you know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
they just, you know what I mean, because they didn't have a plan that's bigger than the now, So you got to think about the now, and you got to think about the future. Do you know what I mean? But it's very important to think about the future and to think about 5 years time, 10 years time, rather than just thinking about the now. Do you know what I mean? So that's basically like where that allowed me to like think a lot bigger in terms of my vision and what it is that I'm doing. And that's exactly why I came up with the social media marketing company as well. So yeah.
Sweet, bro. So, right, here's a question that people may find a bit controversial,
Let's
depending on
go.
how you answer.
Yeah.
What are your top 5 artists? No mitigation. There's no top
Yeah,
5.
that's easy. So Meek Mill number one, Lil Durk number two. There's this artist called Core that I like, KUR, Fire. YFN Lucci, and there's another artist from Detroit called Payroll Giovanni. They're my 5 favorite artists.
That is crazy. Every time I ask, your top 5 artists, go. Tupac, Biggie, first.
Yeah.
No Tupac, no Biggie in there.
Nah. I fuck with them, but they're not my favorite artists.
Hear
I
that?
listen to a lot of
Hear
Tupac
that?
and Biggie every day, actually. I listen to like a SoundCloud mix that keeps me motivated, to work on what it is I need to work on. But they're not my favorite artists, though. But they're fire, though. They are
Fair
legends,
enough.
but they're just not my favorite.
Fair enough. I can't argue that. I can't argue that. Who inspires you to push yourself?
Um, like I mean, like like a lot of these artists, to be honest with you, because obviously, like growing up in environments that we grew up in, and a lot of people grew up in London, like within the urban communities and that. It's like we don't really have like role models and people to look up to like that. Do you know what I'm saying? That inspires us. Especially if you if you come from like a single parent home, you ain't really got pops or nothing to look up to, innit? So you gotta look up to someone else, and a lot of people choose the wrong influences to look up to. So I kind of looked up to like the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, do you know what I'm saying? The Meek Mills, the Lil Durks, do you know what I mean? Like I look up to those kind of people, and I've learned a lot of a lot of lessons just through music in general. Do you know what I mean? But I also look up to I look up to people around me that's doing great things, innit? So you even gotta be anyone big, like even Platform London, like I would say that they, like they inspire me. Do you get it? And certain other people like within the field of videography may inspire me, and photography may inspire me, and just other like underground artists that are doing things and are actually going places inspire me. So I kind of take inspiration off of everybody. But if you're thinking about big people that I take inspiration off of, like a lot of it is like just like rap moguls and music moguls and stuff. I take inspiration from them. Because growing up, like as I said, like that's the only real people that you gotta, that you can that that you can really look at and take example from, I suppose, isn't it? Coming from like the urban places that we come from, so yeah. Because everyone's a product of their environment at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people got to realize that, and I realize that people are a product of their environment. So if you was to take one person that grew up in the hood and put them on a desert island, they're not going to be the same person that they are. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be different. If you was to if you was to raise him over there, like from birth, he wouldn't turn out the same person. So that's why, everyone's a product of their environment, and you're a product of what you take in as well. That's why it's important to only take in things that are beneficial and things that are going to, uplift you rather than things that are going to drag you down, because everything that you take in subconsciously is, it's altering and changing your mind and your personality and who you are.
Big word. So can you tell us about your first performance experience? So like
my first performance experience.
Yeah. What was that like?
Yeah, that was in the South actually. I was in like a little community center because I'm from North. I'm from Finchley Park originally. So I went to South.
I'm from Stokey. I'm down.
Is it? Yeah, bro. I was born in Homerton, and I used to live in Stokey, man. Like when I was a little man. But then I moved to Finchley Park when I was like 2.
No way.
But and I grew up in Finchley Park. Yeah. So what do you call it? Like my first show was in South. I remember it was in a little community center. There was only about 10, 15 people there at the time. But and I remember I had on shades in it because that's the first time I performed. So I thought by having the shades on, people won't really see my eyes, and you know what I'm saying, I won't really see people's eyes. So it's cool, and I can close my eyes and people won't even know my eyes are closed. So that was like the first performance that I done. And then I realized it's not actually that bad, innit? And then I realized like it's a psychological thing for you to feel nervous or for you to feel unconfident, innit? So as soon as I realized that, the next time I done a show, like I didn't need no shades or nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? I just went straight in and I allowed the mindset to allow me to perform. Do you know what I mean? So that was my first show. That was my experience. And yeah, since then I've probably done like 40 shows or something since then. Like around London and stuff.
What advice would you give to anybody who would potentially view it or is viewing now? How to overcome them first performance fears?
As I said, like it's a mindset thing, right? So I think it's important that we watch other people perform as well, right? So look at your favorite artists, or just like other like underground artists that are really good with their stage confidence and how they move on stage, and then just try and understand like the importance of stage presence and like how they're positioning themselves, and then you try and imitate that, and just realize a lot of it is to do with the mind, and at the end of the day, like if you're thinking something negative about yourself, then obviously you're going to bring that attention on yourself. Do you know what I mean? But if you're thinking something positive about yourself, then you're going to bring positive attention on yourself. And a lot of the time, the way that we feel, the way that we feel that people view us, they actually don't view us that way, innit? It's just what we think in our heads. So as soon as you get over that, then you'll be good. But you just got to realize it's just a mindset thing. And a lot of the time, what you think in your mind about how people view you is wrong, innit? So you just got to You just gotta like not worry and not focus on what people are thinking, and just focus more on the performance and just having fun and enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? And then yeah, over time you'll build experience, but you should definitely try out open mics and go to as much open mics as possible. Do you know what I mean? Even if there's 10 people there, even if there's 15 people there, do you know what I mean? Because that's a confidence booster and it builds your confidence. And at the end of the day, you got to think about the bigger picture. If you don't start off with those little open mic shows, whenever you have your own headline show, it's going to be trash. Do you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't have had the experience. So treat open mic shows as training grounds. Not only that, but if you go to an open mic show and there's 20 people there, or there's even 10 people there, even if 3 people become a fan, they could potentially become a super fan, you know, and they can become a part of your journey since then. So you're kind of picking up fans in a way as well. So that's why I think like open mics are super important, you know, and people should never ever like underestimate an open mic, you know. But yeah, it's just great for confidence, you know, boosting confidence and getting yourself out there and just the experience. So yeah, but go on, bro.
As you said, you've been doing this since you've been thinking about brand image and all of this since about 16 years old. So is there like a main thing that you have learned from 16 years old up until now?
Yeah, now just to add as well, I think to add to my top 5 artists, like Nipsey Hussle for sure. I'm listening to Nipsey right now, but Nipsey Hussle for sure. But anyway, yeah, go on. Like, go on. What was the question? From when I was 16, you said to now.
From 2016, or from when you were 16, sorry, up until now, what have you learned? What's the main thing you've learned that carries you through?
What's the main thing I learned?
Yeah.
I don't know, like just like the main thing I learned is branding, innit? And like the importance of building a brand and just the importance of content, putting content out there, and the importance of like self-education, innit? And educating yourself, you know? Because self-education is really what's gonna, you know, create you the fortunes, and that's really gonna take you places, you know? So you gotta be on it when it comes to educating yourself and self-education, you know, because it's easy just to, you know, like just to take the basics of what school taught us and what everything else taught us, but you know, it's not beneficial to our life. So you gotta like every day, like, you know, be out there, like educating yourself in whatever it is that you want to do. Do you know what I mean? And not just taking, you know, one person's word for it, you know, like go out and do the extra research. And that applies to anything and everything that you want to do. You know, some people in here might not even want to be artists. That's cool. You know, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a doctor, whatever, still self-educate yourself even further on that subject matter, innit? So yeah, I realized the importance of self-education, and I realized like the importance of mindset, really, and the importance of energy as well. You know, I'm a very strong believer in energy, you know, and I believe that you know, you being around negative energy is obviously going to have a negative effect on you, and you being around positive energy is going to have a positive effect on you. So yeah, like I learned quite a bit, like spiritually, to be honest with you.
Sick. And as an artist, is there a main message you represent?
A main message that I represent?
Yeah.
Like Nip said, hustle and motivate, really. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to hustle and motivate. Do you know what I mean? So whether that's hustling with my music or hustling with my business, I'm just trying to hustle and motivate. You know? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to be I'm just trying to be bigger than just an artist now. But yeah, go on.
No, you're definitely doing that, fam. Definitely on the way.
No, love, bro.
Definitely.
Appreciate that. But yeah, go on.
You've spoken about where you've started, where you are now. What does the end goal look for you? What does it look like for you? Sorry.
The end goal?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a strong believer that nobody can like physically see their future. Like you can obviously like have a vision, but you cannot like physically see your future. Obviously, like that's impossible. But you can have a vision. So like I'm just trying to work up to that vision, really. And then yeah, like in all hopes, you know, like you'll get there eventually. When you don't know, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, like things will come to you at your time. You know, like certain people are winning now. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to win. It's just not your time right now. Do you know what I mean? And what's more important is who's winning in 5 years. So you got to think about the people that's popping now, and think about in 5 years, are they still going to be popping? You know, and like the answer, like 99% of the time, is probably going to be no. Do you know what I mean? So you need to figure out, you know, where do you want to be in 5 years' time, so you don't end up one of them. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about who's winning now. It's about who's winning in 5 years' time. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are gonna, are gonna fall off or are gonna become, complacent and inconsistent and do you know what I mean? And a lot of things change, like every day people change. So one thing somebody might enjoy doing today and this year, next year they might not enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? They might want to do something different.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's all about building up that strength and that character to the point where anything that you get into, you can apply those same aspects into that, and that same hustle and that same resilience into anything else that you get into. So everything's a character building, right? So certain things happen to us for a reason. Do you know what I mean? And it just strengthens our character. But as long as you know that your mind is the most powerful thing, you can bring your mind into anything and everything that is that you want to do, and you can succeed if you've got a positive, powerful mind. So,
Word. So now we've reached the end of the interview. So one last
wicked
question:
man.
is there anything you'd like to tell the viewers?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Sunbites, man. You know what I'm saying? He's on fire, man. This is what I've been eating so far. So yeah, shout out to Sunbites to begin with, and yeah, shout out to Sunbites, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, at the end of the day, like everything's only temporary, yeah. So you might not be in like the greatest position right now, and you might be going through a lot right now, but everything's only temporary, And at the end of the day, like hard times don't last, tough people do, So yeah, like just remember, you know what I mean. So just remember, like whatever it is that you're going through right now, like you're gonna push through it, and you just gotta look back to all of the things that you already pushed through, and all of the things that you already like came over and got over, and look at how far that you've come now, and just think about that, and just know that you're gonna get out of the situation that you're in. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been homeless before. I was homeless for half a year. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like I'll never come out of that. But having that mindset that I'll come out of that, I came out of that. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it's about. You got to really think about the bigger picture and just realize that, everything happens for a reason. Do you know what I mean? And now I can use that story obviously to inspire other people. Do you know what I mean? And to add to like my story and who I am as a person. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man. Just remember that hard times don't last. Tough people do. And at the end of the day, your mind is the most powerful thing. So work on your mind and work on who you have around you. If you constantly are around energy drainers, they're obviously going to drain your energy. So you need to change your group, and you need to be around people that's uplifting you, and you have to be around people that want to make you win and want to see you win, sorry, rather than the people that don't want to see you win. Do you know what I mean? So who you're around has a very, very big effect on where you're gonna go in life and your energy as a person. So yeah, definitely stay grounded, and like just be careful of who you let into your life and who you're around, because a lot of things and a lot of people are not are like not as they seem. It's easy to put on a fake persona on the internet, but I don't necessarily mean that they like that. Do you know what I mean? Like the internet's full of fake personas. Do you know what I mean? Like it's easy to do that. And one thing I realized as well, since this whole lockdown thing, a lot of people haven't been posting like that. And the reason they haven't is because they can't hide behind that image that they used to put out before no more. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone's looking shabby, shabby, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? So me, I'm still out here. I'm still making content, etc., etc. Because I want people to connect with me for me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be anyone else but me. So I ain't got a problem jumping on no video call, like looking all like scruffy and shit. I ain't got a problem with that. Do you know what I mean? Like my beard needs trimming, but look, I'm still here. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to hide, and I'm not trying to be someone I'm not. I'm just trying to let people know that I'm just being myself, and trying to inspire other people to be themselves, really.
Oh, word.
And that's why so many people connect with me, man, from all different walks of life, because of that one thing. So you just gotta be yourself in every aspect, and don't be afraid to let your true personality shine. And just keep
Amazing.
going, people. Keep going, man. Trust me, keep going. But yeah, just work on your mindset. Like yeah, keep reading, keep educating yourself, keep watching these positive videos, and be careful who you follow as well, innit? Because if you're following people that keep uploading negative stuff, that's gonna have an effect on your mood and your day. Do you know what I mean? So you wanna affect people that inspire you wanna follow people that inspire you. And follow people that motivate you. And if certain people post negative things and things that are going to throw you off for your day, just simply unfollow them. You ain't got to tell them, because that's their page. They can post what they want, but just simply unfollow them, because you ain't got to see it. So yeah, man, that's what I'll put out there to people.
Amazing. Guys,
No, bro.
I have been Brian. This has been Aces, and you have been locked into Platform London live on Instagram. Thank you guys for tuning in, and
Yeah,
enjoy
love
the rest of
for tuning
lockdown.
in. Love, bro. So
Love, man.
sick.
Thank you for
Save the
pulling
live,
up,
yes.
bro.
Save the live, yeah.
Much love, much
Save it
love.
and save it on the gram. All right, bro. Save the live. Love, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Safe, safe, safe.